现在无家可归了。
哦，你无家可归，你少娶了个女，是少去结了个女，掉了回来，他就来了，掉了回来，真的是个人物。
After the woman found a new lover, she finished the divorce procedures with her husband in the morning, and in the afternoon, news came from her ex-husband's family that the house would be demolished for redevelopment. After she learned this, she deeply regretted it and insisted on going to live at her ex-husband's home. At this time, the ex-husband was already heartbroken, refused his ex-wife's request, and even changed all the locks at home. When the ex-wife learned this, she immediately turned hostile and directly demanded 5 million yuan worth of property from her ex-husband. The person appearing now is the ex-wife, Wang Yonghong. 2 days ago, in the morning, she had just completed the divorce procedures with her ex-husband, Xie Zhongchong. That afternoon, when she returned home, she found that she could not open the door at all, which almost left her stranded on the street. Before the reporter could even ask her what had happened, she suddenly lost control of her emotions and directly took a brick to smash the door of the house.
这个我打不开，我只能敲门了。
哎，那么我找你啊？
你找人噻？
你给我看。
那我就哭的。
At this moment, the people inside the house rushed out to stop her. The boy was Xie Ming, the son of Xie Zhongchong. He told his stepmother that now she and his father were already divorced, so she had nothing to do with this house anymore. If the stepmother had any objections, she could go directly to the court to sue. Hearing that, the stepmother felt very wronged. She told the reporter that although Xie Ming was not her biological son, during the 7 years of her marriage with her ex-husband, she had always treated him like her own child. But who would have thought that right after the divorce, the son would turn his face and deny her completely? Normally, after living together for so many years, there should have been some affection. So why did the son hate his stepmother so much? For this, Wang Yonghong explained that they guarded against her like this all because of this house. Although she and her ex-husband were already divorced, the property under both of their names had not been divided yet, so she believed she had the right to live there. While Wang Yonghong and her stepson were arguing, her ex-husband, Xie Zhongchong, also arrived. Seeing the chaotic scene before him, he was both angry and helpless. He told the reporter that he had married Wang Yonghong 7 years ago, but soon after the marriage, he discovered that his wife was entangled with other men, and not long ago, she insisted on divorcing him. He believed that the reason his wife behaved this way was because she wanted to deceive him out of his property. He said that his ex-wife did not come here because she had nowhere to live, but because she wanted to take over his house. When the ex-wife heard that, she immediately refuted it. She said she was not here without reason. When the two got married, she signed a relocation agreement at the village committee, which stated that she could receive 15 square meters of resettlement construction land. Furthermore, before they got married, they also signed a prenuptial property agreement stating that the 6th floor of this house would belong to her. But now, after the divorce, her husband refused to admit that such an agreement ever existed, and later angrily drove her out of the house. After the ex-wife left, Xie Zhongchong called the reporter aside and began to talk about his emotional disputes with his ex-wife.
我现在无家可归了。
哦，你无家可归，你少娶了个女，是少去结了个女，掉了回来，他就来了，掉了回来，真的是个人物。
After the woman found a new lover, she finished the divorce procedures with her husband in the morning, and in the afternoon, news came from her ex-husband's family that the house would be demolished for redevelopment. After she learned this, she deeply regretted it and insisted on going to live at her ex-husband's home. At this time, the ex-husband was already heartbroken, refused his ex-wife's request, and even changed all the locks at home. When the ex-wife learned this, she immediately turned hostile and directly demanded 5 million yuan worth of property from her ex-husband. Speaking of their marriage, Xie Zhongchong was full of regret. They had met through a matchmaker's introduction. When he first saw Wang Yonghong, he was deeply attracted to her, and before long, they rushed into marriage. It was probably because they didn't spend enough time getting to know each other that after marriage, he discovered his wife had hidden many things and had many shortcomings. He worked from dawn to dusk, trying hard to build their little home, while Wang Yonghong was lazy and idle every day, doing nothing at home, often spending her time playing cards in gambling rooms. At first, he thought his wife was just going there for fun, but as time went on, he heard more and more rumors. The neighbors often hinted that his wife was closely involved with many men. Feeling helpless, Xie Zhongchong told the reporter that his resettlement house had 7 floors in total, and if they had just managed it together, they would never have to worry about living a hard life. Unfortunately, his wife didn't work hard at all. Not only was she lazy, but she didn't care about the family either. She often stayed out all night playing cards, which resulted in all their money being lost. Even so, he had never thought of divorcing her. After all, they had been married for 7 years and had built a deep bond. But what he didn't expect was that, although she was the one who had betrayed the family, she was the first to sue him in court, insisting on getting a divorce. That was when he finally realized she had long stopped loving him. He even suspected that from the very beginning, Wang Yonghong had married him with another purpose in mind. Her actions after marriage seemed like a deliberate attempt to force him into a divorce. Feeling wronged, Xie Zhongchong told the reporter that he had given everything for this marriage, while his wife had contributed nothing. Now, she had even filed multiple lawsuits, trying to seize his property, something he would never agree to. Her past behavior had already broken his heart completely. To cut ties once and for all, he changed all the locks after the divorce. So, was Xie Zhongchong telling the truth? Was Wang Yonghong really such a person? To find out the truth, the reporter interviewed the surrounding neighbors. According to the neighbors, they mostly sided with Xie Zhongchong. They said that during the 7 years of marriage, he worked hard every single day, while all the money he earned was squandered by his wife.
这两个我打不开我这个敲门了。
哎，那么我找你啊，
你打人噻？
你给我看，
那我就哭的。
In fact, with that 7-story house alone, the two of them should have been living comfortably. But because Wang Yonghong was addicted to playing cards, she squandered all the family's savings. Their daily life became difficult, and Xie Zhongchong had to work outside to earn money to support the family. What angered everyone most was that while her husband was working away from home, Wang Yonghong frequently interacted with other men behind his back. Many people saw this and began to gossip. After hearing all of this, the reporter decided to talk to the person involved again to understand the situation better. Since her ex-husband had changed the locks, Wang Yonghong had no home to return to and was temporarily living in her sister's shop. As for the accusations from her ex-husband and the neighbors, Wang Yonghong felt very wronged. She said none of it was true. During the 7 years of marriage, she had always taken care of the home and treated her stepson with great kindness. She had never done anything to betray her husband. But now that they were divorced, her ex-husband was defaming her everywhere to take full control of the property. Although Wang Yonghong spoke pitifully, the reporter was not fully convinced. During the interview, he noticed that her teeth were very dark, which made it hard to believe her completely. In response, Wang Yonghong explained with grievance that she didn't have any bad habits. She had just been too stressed about the divorce lately, so she started smoking to ease her emotions. The more she spoke, the more wronged she felt. She said she had finally seen her ex-husband's true face and now only wanted to reclaim what belonged to her. Then, the reporter accompanied Wang Yonghong to the community office. After checking the records, the staff explained that the housing resettlement process had taken place 8 years ago, while the couple got married and registered their household 1 year later, 7 years ago. They had just missed the allocation timeline. Therefore, according to local resettlement policy, Wang Yonghong was not eligible to receive resettlement housing. As for the agreement she had signed, her name had been included based on local customs when registering under the Xie family's household record. The 15 square meters of resettlement land in her name had been reallocated from the Xie family's original land, meaning it was now considered collective property. If she wanted to claim those 15 square meters, she would need the consent of all Xie family members. Hearing the staff's response, Wang Yonghong appeared very disappointed. Later, she consulted a lawyer, who explained that the house was jointly owned by 3 generations of the Xie family and located on collectively owned land. According to Chinese law, the court cannot rule on the ownership or usage rights of collectively owned land. Therefore, Wang Yonghong's desire to divide the property could not be realized. This left Wang Yonghong extremely disappointed. In the end, she still decided to file a lawsuit, hoping there might be some kind of turnaround.
To be honest, after watching this whole thing, I think fighting over the house is just on the surface. What's really torn apart here is the human heart. What truly hurts is the love is gone, yet someone still wants to come back and take a share of the benefits. Stepson Chong. He's not a perfect man, but at least for 7 years he carried the burden, kept things going, and tried to live a decent life. And Wang Yonghong? She says she's homeless, but it's not that she has nowhere to stay. She just doesn't want to lose a house that's about to rise to nearly 5 million yuan in value. You see, this is the truest side of relationships. Sometimes it's not that you don't know how to cherish someone. It's that you think they'll wait for you forever. But when you finally look back, the locks have been changed and the heart has already closed. Some people say Wang Yonghong is pitiful, while others say Stepson Chong is too ruthless. But I want to say, divorce can be your choice. But the consequences, you have to bear them yourself. So what do you think? Whose side are you on? Who do you think went too far? Come and talk about it in the comments. I really want to see what everyone thinks. If you also think this story is worth reflecting on, remember to give a like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.